Survival is decided in an instant. The line is razor thin. A second of hesitation changes everything. Africa, a continent shaped not by time but by the sun. Each dawn is a promise, and every sunset a verdict. It is the cradle of life, where the most ancient laws still reign with unshakable power. Here, on the vast grasslands of the Masai Mara, an ancient decree still governs the fate of all things. It is the law of life and death, of thirst and the hunt, of creation and destruction. A grand, intricate, and sometimes cruel symphony, performed without pause since the dawn of time. This is not a story of individuals, but of a colossal ecosystem, a tapestry woven from countless lives. Where the fate of each creature is bound by the invisible threads of dependence and conflict. Every action, no matter how small, sends ripples across the plains. And that symphony is about to begin, not with the light, but with a hunger. The king's hunger Dawn has not yet broken. In the twilight, a pride of lions is on the move. Muscles ripple beneath sand-colored coats, silent as phantoms. Last night was a failure. The cubs' stomachs rumble, a sound that urges the lionesses to act. They are the only great cats to live in prides, a complex society led by the females. Their bond is the foundation of the pride's survival. Leading them is a veteran lioness, her amber eyes scanning the plains. She does not hunt randomly, she chooses. A suitable quarry for today. Not so strong as to risk injury, not so weak as to be a waste of effort. Distance, wind direction, terrain, all are calculated in silence. Across the sea of grass, a figure rises, dominating the horizon. It is the giraffe, a masterpiece of evolution. They are the first sentinels of the savannah. Its impossibly long neck is not just for feeding, it is the ultimate strategic advantage. From a height of nearly 20 feet, it has a panoramic view, an early warning system for the entire plain. Its large, gentle eyes can spot danger from a great distance, long before smaller creatures are aware. It calmly approaches the towering acacia trees, a source of rich nourishment no other grazer can reach. The tender, succulent, mineral-rich leaves are an exclusive reward for such great stature. A private world, a private feast, held at the top of the plant kingdom. They move with a strange serenity, each step an expression of innate elegance, like dancers on stilts. But that gentle appearance is only part of the story. Hidden behind such grace is a formidable defensive weapon. Its long, powerful legs can deliver a devastating kick with enough force to shatter an adult lion's skull. They are gentle giants, but they are not to be trifled with. When the mating season arrives, serenity gives way to a ritual of power known as necking. The adult males engage in a violent yet controlled dance. Their weapon is the neck itself, wielded like a giant club. They swing powerfully into a rival's body, a contest of stamina and will. Each impact resounds like a sledgehammer, a brutal display of strength to prove who is most worthy of passing on his genes. The victor wins access to the females. The loser retreats, bearing a harsh lesson about his place in the social order. But for the lions watching from afar, a giraffe is not an ideal choice. Too large and far too dangerous. As the sun climbs higher, the savannah awakens to the thunder of hooves. It is a herd of zebra, restless nomads, always moving in search of fresh pasture. For them, safety is found not in individual strength, but in the power of numbers. Their black and white stripes, unique as fingerprints, are not for camouflage in the grass. They serve a far more subtle purpose. When they move together, these thousands of stripes merge, creating a vibrant optical illusion. A visual maze that confuses a predator's ability to judge distance and select a target. To a lion's eye, the herd is not a collection of individuals, but a mesmerizing, shifting mass of stripes, making it incredibly difficult to lock onto a single animal. But this defensive strategy demands absolute synchrony. A single stray, a moment's hesitation, can be a death sentence. And danger is always watching. Hidden in the tall grass, the lions continue their vigil, awaiting the perfect moment to strike. Unlike cheetahs, lions are not built for long, high-speed chases. Their strength lies in coordination, explosive power over short distances, and above all, patience. Wasting energy means pushing the whole pride closer to starvation. But they are not the only ones watching the zebra. In another corner of the savannah, a cheetah crouches low. It is the embodiment of speed, a biological machine built for the burst. A flexible spine, large nostrils, an oversized heart and lungs, all designed for one purpose: the high-speed pursuit. Its eyes lock onto a young zebra, lagging slightly at the edge of the herd. Suddenly, the cheetah explodes into motion. Muscles unleash a torrent of energy, turning it into a living arrow that tears through the air in a chase that can exceed 60 miles per hour. The zebra herd instantly panics. They swerve as one, a perfectly orchestrated dance of survival, a maelstrom of life and death. The striped maize does its work. The cheetah is close, but a split second of confusion in the chaos of stripes is enough to break its rhythm. The quarry slips away. The hunter must stop, panting with the bitter taste of failure. This sprint consumes a colossal amount of energy, and it cannot be sustained for long. It must choose its moment perfectly, or the price is exhaustion and an empty stomach. The savannah falls silent once more. The zebras have vanished in the chaos. The opportunity is lost. The lions do not give chase. They know when to hold back. But the hunger remains. And then, another option presents itself. In the distance, the ground begins to tremble with a heavy, deliberate rhythm. A great black mass is approaching slowly but unstoppably. An adult Cape buffalo can weigh nearly 2,000 pounds, with curved horns fused at the base to form a shield of bone as hard as steel. They are one of Africa's Big Five, and known as the Black Death for their aggressive and relentless temperament. They are said to have killed more hunters than any other animal on the continent. They move as a single unit, bound by an instinct for survival. The largest and strongest adults always form a protective perimeter. Within that ring is the herd's future, the vulnerable young. When danger threatens, the buffalo do not panic. They immediately form a defensive circle, a wall of sharp horns pointing outwards. It is a fortress that even the most experienced predators must respect. To attack one is to attack the herd, and the herd will retaliate with collective fury. But when the dry season comes, even the strongest fortress must move. Thirst becomes a more formidable enemy than any lion. They begin a journey to the only remaining source of life, the rivers. But that is also the domain of another ruler, an ancient ambush predator. But on the savannah, there is always a higher power, a force that cannot be challenged by strength or numbers alone. As the sun reaches its zenith, the heat becomes so punishing that even top predators must alter their rhythm. The lionesses have returned empty-handed from a fruitless morning hunt. Now, the burden of survival no longer rests on the females alone. The dominant males, the protectors of the territory, must make a life or death decision. Their goal is not immediate thirst, but the richer lands across the river, a gamble to save their dynasty. They head towards the water, but here, on this seeming path to salvation, the power of the apex land predator becomes meaningless. Because where there is water, there are hippos. By day, they submerge themselves in the cool river, colossal bulks revealing only their eyes, ears, and nostrils above the surface. At first glance, they appear placid, even lazy. But that tranquil exterior is a dangerous deception. The hippopotamus is fiercely territorial and one of Africa's most aggressive and unpredictable creatures. Their domain is a stretch of river, and any intruder will be punished. As the mighty male lions plunge into the water, they are not merely trespassing. They are challenging a king in his own kingdom. From beneath the waves, a massive dark shape erupts, its mouth gaping nearly 180 degrees to reveal long, dagger-like tusks. The hippo attacks like a living torpedo. The kings of the savannah, now utterly helpless, are forced to flee in terror. In the water, a lion stands no chance. Clumsy on land, the hippo is a true nightmare in the water. On the far bank, the new land promises life. The lions have crossed the deadly boundary. As the lions retreat from the water's edge, the ground begins to vibrate to a different rhythm. Not of chaos, but a slow, majestic, and unmistakable beat. A herd of African elephants emerges from the woodlands, a moving grey wall that eclipses the sun. They are led by a matriarch, a living library of memory and experience spanning generations. Her small eyes hold a deep intelligence. She knows where to find water, which paths are safe, and when danger is near. Her remarkable memory is a living map for her entire family. They approach the river not with the fear of those seeking water, but with the quiet authority of its true masters. Even the most aggressive hippos keep a respectful distance. The lions watch from afar, their hunger and thirst momentarily forgotten before a power they know they cannot challenge. An adult elephant is a moving fortress, almost invulnerable. They do not merely drink. They bathe, using their versatile trunks to spray water over their vast backs, a ritual of joy and relief. Playful calves frolic under the protection of the herd. This is not just a family, but a complex society built on connection and affection. Their very presence brings life. In the dry season, they use their tusks and feet to dig into dry riverbeds, uncovering underground springs and creating waterholes on which countless other species depend. They are the engineers of this ecosystem. This is not a confrontation of strength, but an acknowledgement of an unchangeable order. On this savannah there are kings and there are gods, and at this moment the gods are enjoying their peace. But thirst is not the only force drawing the lions to the river. Where there is water, there is life. And where there is life, there is opportunity. Downstream, a herd of wildebeest gathers at the water's edge, their powerful bodies worn from a long journey, shimmering in the intense heat. They are the savannah's great endurance migrants, traveling vast distances with the seasons, relying on numbers and coordination to minimize the risk of predation. Their strength lies not in explosive speed, but in numbers and stamina. Thousands of individuals move as one, a river of life that predators find difficult to control. But that very cohesion holds a weakness. For when chaos erupts, an individual just a beat too slow can be separated from the safety of the current. Concealed in the low, sun-scorched grass, the lions lower their bodies, each step slow and precise. The lionesses spread out, silently closing the distance, using every slight dip in the terrain to mask their presence. A target quickly reveals itself. One lioness bursts from cover, shattering the quiet. The wildebeest herd explodes, the entire mass moving like a wave, their instincts for migration and survival driving them forward with collective momentum. In the confusion, the lion's strategy pays off. Then it is all over, with a suffocating bite to the throat. The feast begins, but it follows a strict hierarchy. If a dominant male is present, he will eat first, even though the females made the kill. His role is not the daily hunt, but to defend the territory from intruders and protect the cubs from rival males. His mane is not just a symbol of power, but also thick armor, protecting his neck in mortal combat. In the distance, the Great Migration continues. Without stopping, without looking back, because for the wildebeest, the loss of one is the necessary price for the survival of the herd. The lions stand over their kill, their bodies heaving with exhaustion under the midday sun. This is more than a meal. It is the result of exploiting a weakness in the prey's own survival strategy, that in a great current, to fall a single step behind is to be left behind for good. From high above, other eyes have witnessed the entire event. Vultures, with their extraordinary eyesight, have been circling since the hunt began. They are master aviators, gliding on the thermals rising from the hot earth, able to soar for hours without a single wing beat. Their circling is not just a patient wait, but a visual signal, a beacon to other vultures across the plains. They are the undertakers, the essential sanitation crew of the savannah. Only when the lions have eaten their fill and moved on, do they descend in a noisy, chaotic spectacle. Here, a key adaptation becomes clear, their bald heads and necks. This design is for impeccable hygiene, preventing blood and soft tissue from clinging as they reach deep inside a carcass. A strict order is hidden beneath the chaotic surface. Each species has its role, determined by the structure of its beak. The largest, like the lappet-faced vulture, use their powerful beaks to tear through the tough hide. Once this door is opened, hordes of smaller white-backed vultures swarm in, stripping the soft flesh. In a matter of hours, they will clean the site completely, leaving nothing but bleached bone. But their true role is even greater. Their digestive system is a biological furnace, with stomach acids so powerful they can destroy deadly pathogens like anthrax and cholera. They are an indispensable final link in the ecosystem. These silent recyclers turn death back into life, ensuring the savannah's cycle is never broken. On the savannah, no meal remains peaceful for long. The scent of blood drifts on the hot air, carrying a clear signal to others. The lions are still feeding, but their vigilance never wavers. From the distance, sloping-backed shapes begin to appear, moving with a singular purpose. They converge, not in chaos, but with an unseen order. It is a clan of spotted hyenas, the patient army of the plains. They smell opportunity from miles away, thanks to a keen sense of smell and relentless tracking ability. Contrary to their misunderstood image, hyenas are not just scavengers. The majority of their food comes from their own highly effective hunts. Their bodies are built for endurance, with powerful forequarters for long-distance travel and for weathering protracted disputes. Their society is a matriarchy, where females are larger, stronger, and hold absolute dominance within the clan. Each individual knows its place, and every action follows a strict social code. Their characteristic laugh echoes across the savannah, not an expression of mirth, but a complex vocalization used to locate and coordinate with one another. Their incredibly powerful jaws and bite force allow them to crush bone, utilizing almost the entire carcass, something few other predators can do. The lions sense their presence. Low growls rumble, a clear warning. But while all attention is on the lions, another danger has quietly closed in. A spotted hyena accidentally strays from the safety of its clan and immediately becomes the target of a pack of wild dogs. With their mottled coats and large, ever-alert ears, African wild dogs seem chaotic, almost random in their movements. But behind this appearance lies one of the most efficient hunting systems on the savannah, with a success rate few species can match. They rely not on individual strength, but on near-perfect coordination, where each member understands its role in the hunt. Short, sharp calls and subtle gestures keep the pack connected, allowing them to adjust their positions throughout a pursuit. Before they begin, they become excited, rubbing and interacting constantly, as if to reinforce their bonds before the action. Without needing explosive speed, they rely on stamina and pacing to completely control the confrontation. The hyena has almost no chance to fight back, forced to turn constantly, off balance, as attacks come from multiple directions. The pressure mounts. Survival instinct screams the only way out. With a final effort, the hyena turns and bolts for the nearby river. The pack stops abruptly at the water's edge, watching as their quarry vanishes into the murky depths. The opportunity is gone. They did not win, but they have sent a bloody message. On this savannah, even a hunter can become the hunted in the blink of an eye. The heat begins to fade. The golden light of dusk casts long shadows, perfect for concealment. This is the time of phantoms. And no phantom is more dangerous than the leopard. Unlike the lion, the leopard is a recluse. It is a solitary strategist, a survival artist relying entirely on its own skill. This adaptability allows it to exist in the most diverse of habitats, from dense forest to desert. It is a master of camouflage and stealth. Its coat of rosettes blends perfectly with the dappled light filtering through the leaves, rendering it almost invisible, even at close range. It can lie in ambush on a branch or in a thicket for hours, completely undetected. Its body is almost motionless, only the ears swiveling to capture every sound. It moves as softly as the wind, each footstep carefully placed. Thick pads on its paws allow it to move without making a sound. Patience is its greatest virtue, a state of deadly meditation. When the moment arrives, it attacks with a sudden burst of pent-up energy. A lightning-fast pounce, a precise bite to the nape or the throat, using the power of its jaw and canines to end its prey's life quickly. The hunt is over with silent efficiency. The leopard's strength is phenomenal, particularly in its shoulders and neck. It can haul prey twice its own body weight high into the branches of a tree. This is not just a display of power, but a clever survival strategy to keep its meal safe from opportunists like hyenas and lions. The trees are its larder, its fortress, and its sanctuary, a private kingdom few enemies can breach. Night falls completely. The savannah transforms. A different world awakens with different sounds and different fears. the chirping of insects, the call of an owl, and the distant roar of a lion staking its claim. Its roar is so powerful it can be heard from 5 miles away. It is not just a declaration of ownership, but a way to communicate with other members of the pride, an invisible thread of sound connecting them in the dark. And in the darkness, a new cycle is beginning. The lead lioness has given birth to a new litter. These tiny, helpless creatures are born into a ruthless world. But they are protected by the strength of the pride. They are the future. They will learn the harsh laws of the savannah, how to hunt, how to fight, and how to survive. For the herbivores, the shadows beneath the dense foliage are a waking nightmare. A predator can lurk anywhere. And the lion, the ruler here, uses this gift of geography to become an invisible phantom. The dense vegetation is the perfect curtain for an ambush. A target is locked. A lone, unwary impala. The hunt begins with the silent, calculated steps of the lionesses. They deftly conceal their nearly 300-pound bodies behind the trunks of trees. The silence is absolute, stretched taut like a bowstring, ready to release a fatal arrow. But high in an old marula tree, a mischievous observer is about to spoil everything. A baboon, with its extraordinary eyesight, has spotted the golden glint of a lion's coat in the dry grass. The alpha male's alarm call rings out, a death sentence for the hunting plan. The hunt has failed, energy has been spent, and the hunger remains. This ancient feud will surely be settled, but the baboon troop is undeterred. They are among the most intelligent primates in Kruger. They operate in large troops, sometimes numbering over 100 individuals. The granite outcrops become natural watchtowers, affording them a panoramic view of the valley. No predator's movement can escape this vigilant surveillance network. Knowing that lions are not adept climbers, the baboons relentlessly provoke them. The wounded pride of the savannah's king now carries a deep resentment. But with their enemy safe on high, even the queens of the hunt are rendered powerless. This time, intelligence has triumphed over strength. But will the rulers reclaim their honor? This is not the first time a baboon has saved an impala from certain death. This contradictory frenemy relationship has intrigued biologists for decades. Impalas possess an extremely keen sense of smell and hearing to detect their foes. In contrast, baboons compensate with superior observation from above. Together, they create a perfect defense system, with no blind spots. When one species sounds an alarm, the other immediately flees, without needing to confirm the danger. This cooperation minimizes the chances of an attack by lions or leopards. They also unwittingly share the benefits of food. While climbing, baboons often drop ripe marula fruits to the ground. This provides the impala with a precious source of nutrition they normally cannot reach. However, this order is completely reversed when the impala birthing season begins. As omnivores, baboons do not hesitate to hunt the vulnerable newborns. The young stand no chance against the 2-inch canines of the troop's alpha male. It is a brutal equation of survival in the heart of the wilderness. The loss of a few young is the price paid for the rest of the herd to escape larger predators. The baboon's most feared enemy hides in the savannah's heat, the leopard. The fear is so deeply ingrained that the mere scent of this predator is enough to spike stress hormones. This enmity is etched into their genetic code after millions of years of violent evolution. The leopard has evolved into a perfect killing machine, designed to hunt intelligent primates. Its rosette-spotted coat is a masterpiece of camouflage, blending perfectly with the dappled sunlight. Thick pads on its paws silence its every move, allowing it to approach within nearly 20 feet of its prey. The hunter's silence is the prelude to a death sentence delivered without warning. The battle between these two species depends entirely on the cycle of light. As dusk settles on the plains, the leopard begins to stalk the baboon troop foraging on the ground. It closes in through the tall grass, almost without a sound. When the distance is short enough, the leopard launches a lightning-fast pounce, its jaws locking onto the prey's neck. But as dawn breaks, the tables turn dramatically. Daylight is the time for retribution. The baboon troop gathers to launch a collective assault, driving the predator away. Vervet monkeys, their cunning relatives, often live in the shadow of baboons. As night falls, they are pushed to the edges of the high branches, becoming an unwitting first line of defense against leopards. Yet, this small monkey maintains its stability through a tight-knit matriarchal social structure and strong troop cohesion. At Skukuza, in Kruger National Park, they are also notorious for mischievous antics like unzipping tents and raiding tourists' bins. If the Kruger ecosystem were a film, vervet monkeys would surely be the most comical villains. Leaving the western granite hills, our journey takes us toward the vast basalt plains of southeastern Kruger National Park. The soil, formed from ancient lava flows, has created fertile grasslands that attract enormous herds of grazers. Here, zebra, blue wildebeest, and Cape buffalo congregate in immense numbers. This abundance of prey also draws the dominant predators of the plains. A pride of 15 African lions requires a vast amount of food to sustain itself. Weighing some 550 pounds and possessing incredible stamina, the blue wildebeest is a frequent target. But to the local people, the wildebeest has never been a creature of weakness. A witty legend tells that it was pieced together from the leftover parts when the Creator had finished making all other animals. Thus, it has the horns of a buffalo, the head of an ox, the body of a horse, and the tail of an antelope. It is this strange appearance that has made the wildebeest a symbol of adaptability and resilience. In many traditional ceremonies, it also represents courage in the face of nature's harsh changes. Male lions rarely hunt swift prey like wildebeest, their heavy bodies and conspicuous manes being a disadvantage. Their primary duty is to defend territory and maintain power against rivals. But when confronting Cape buffalo, mobile fortresses weighing nearly a ton, the kings themselves must join the fray. When the kings have eaten their fill, the feast begins for the white-backed vultures. Hundreds descend in a frenzy, forming the Kruger ecosystem's most efficient cleanup crew. Possessing long, featherless necks, they can reach deep into a carcass without fear of infection. Their tongue, structured like a file, allows them to scrape meat from bone with astonishing speed. In mere minutes, a body weighing hundreds of pounds is reduced to a skeleton, bleaching in the harsh sun. The vulture's secret weapon lies in its digestive system, a chemical reactor of incredibly high acidity. It can neutralize deadly bacteria like anthrax and cholera, preventing the spread of disease into the soil and water. Yet, the survival of this vital link is now severely threatened by poachers who poison carcasses. To save these birds, vulture restaurants have been established to provide a clean food source. Local communities are also replacing the use of real bird parts with herbs in traditional rituals. In indigenous spirituality, the vulture is believed to have clairvoyant powers. They are a bridge, helping sangomas to see the future and connect with their ancestors. To conserve the vulture is not only to protect a biological keystone, but to preserve a profound faith between humanity and the wild. As dusk settles over the grasslands of Lower Tsessebe, the deep social nature of the lion pride is revealed. Unlike other solitary great cats, their lives revolve around an unbreakable core: sisterhood. It is a matriarchal fortress, a dynasty built by grandmothers, mothers, and sisters. Together, they hunt, raise the next generation, and defend their territory. The return of the males from their patrol is marked by an intimate ritual. They rub heads, an act not just of greeting, but of reinforcing bonds and the pride's hierarchy. To hold power, males often form coalitions of brothers, a vital strategy against ambitious rivals. And then, as night descends, the iconic sound of Africa rises. Their roar, which can travel for 5 miles, is more than a territorial claim. It is a strategic tool, used to gauge the strength of rivals and send an unmistakable message of dominance. It is a symphony of power, a declaration of absolute authority under the Kruger sky. Moving towards the center of Kruger National Park, we reach the vast, flat plains of Satara. Here, the vegetation is low and sparse. The view stretches to the horizon. This terrain transforms Satara into a colossal and unforgiving racetrack. There is no place here for silent ambushes. Survival in Satara depends on a single element: speed. This is the realm of the African continent's fastest athletes. The uncrowned king of speed in Satara is the cheetah. Its body is an aerodynamic marvel, optimized for slicing through the air. A super-light skeleton is paired with a deep chest, housing a large capacity respiratory system. Wide nostrils allow for maximum oxygen intake, even at top speed. The cheetah can accelerate from 0 to 70 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. This explosive acceleration surpasses that of any sports car ever built. However, to achieve this incredible velocity, the cheetah has sacrificed muscular strength. Its slender build puts it at a disadvantage against lions and hyenas. Females live solitary lives, while males form groups known as coalitions to defend territory. These alliances, often of brothers, increase their chances of survival and access to females. In Satara, their habitat is shrinking due to the presence of larger predators. These phantoms of speed are in a desperate race against extinction. Satara is also the main stage for Africa's most efficient predator, the African wild dog. With their unique mottled coats of black, yellow, and white, each individual is a living work of art. Unlike many other predators, their greatest strength lies in their teamwork. The hunting success rate of African wild dogs can reach 80%, far higher than that of lions or hyenas. This tight coordination makes a wild dog pack function almost like a military unit. Yet, behind the image of a formidable hunter lies a society filled with care and cohesion. After a hunt, the stronger members will regurgitate food for those who stayed behind in the den. The young are always the first to eat, followed by the old or injured. Within the pack, almost no one is left behind. Wild dogs also have a very peculiar way of making decisions. They vote by sneezing. When enough individuals have sneezed, the entire pack rises and begins the next hunt. Even so, wild dogs face many threats. Habitat loss, conflict with humans, and diseases from domestic dogs like rabies and parvovirus have decimated their numbers. In many parts of Africa, the disappearance of these painted wolves has become a great loss for the savannah ecosystem. If the cheetah is the king of speed among predators, then the Tsessebe is the champion among the savannah's prey. The Tsesebe's high shoulders and sloping back optimize kinetic energy while running. Its reddish-brown coat with a purple sheen makes it conspicuous under the harsh Satara sun. The Tsessebe is also a strategist. It often stands on high termite mounds to survey its surroundings. This vantage point provides a wide field of view, allowing it to spot enemies from afar. This behavior is also a display of strength and high alert. Upon spotting a cheetah, a Tsessebe will often stand its ground, issuing short snorts to alert the predator it has been seen. This confident posture makes even the most experienced hunter think twice before launching an attack. The population of Tsessebe in Kruger National Park, however, is at a dangerously low level. They face intense competition for food from zebras and other antelope species. Satara is their last stronghold, where we can still witness the Formula One race between the continent's two fastest animals. Along the vast Atlantic coast lies the ancient Namib Desert. During the day, temperatures exceed 113 degrees Fahrenheit, scorching the land and creating one of the most extreme landscapes on the planet. The only source of life here comes from the delicate fogs that form over the ocean. Beneath this sand, a silent assassin lies in wait, the puff adder, the snake responsible for more human fatalities than any other in Africa. An expert in ambush, the puff adder often buries itself under a thin layer of sand and keeps its body completely still. Its body is thick, short, and heavy. Its skin makes it a living mirage, a phantom of the desert. Unlike many other vipers, the puff adder does not possess heat-sensing pits. Instead, it relies on its keen sense of smell, tasting the air with its forked tongue and sensing the slightest vibrations from the ground. The venom pierces the black rhino's skin, injecting a brutal cocktail of fast-acting cytotoxic and hemotoxic agents. The black rhino's leg begins to fall into a state of complete necrosis. The African giant now faces a slow and agonizing death. Only broken bones and decaying flesh remain under the summer sun. "1,000 kilometers southeast of Namibia lies the Kalahari, a desert of unpredictability. The extremes of humidity and temperature create a harsh yet resilient life cycle. Here, meerkats have adapted wonderfully to their environment. They live in united mobs of up to 50 individuals. Typically, breeding rights belong exclusively to the single alpha pair. Other members are responsible for foraging, caring for the young, or acting as sentinels. Low branches or high dunes become ideal watchtowers for spotting enemies. Each type of predator has a distinct alarm call for the whole mob to recognize. This characteristic long, low call signals the presence of a snake. Though it is a painful farewell, the mob must continue its journey of survival. In the early morning, when the Kalahari temperature is below 59 degrees Fahrenheit, the mob warms up by turning their bellies towards the sun. After absorbing enough heat, they disperse in small groups to start digging for food. Their menu includes insects, larvae, roots, and even scorpions. Young meerkats are trained early on how to deal with the venom of various predators. Thanks to this, the meerkat has developed an impressive natural resistance to venom. Mutations in their acetylcholine receptors reduce the binding ability of many neurotoxins. Even so, they are not completely immune. Highly venomous scorpions remain a major threat. Therefore, the passing of experience between generations is essential for survival. Suddenly, the mob receives an unexpected alert. It is their injured member. It has cheated death and found its way back to its family. Meerkats recognize each other through the mob's unique scent. The joy of reunion is brief, but high alert must always be maintained. Healthy and bonded individuals form an unbeatable collective against nature. Though small, their collective intelligence makes even the most venomous creatures wary of them. Look at the honey badger, a master of survival, a creature that can eat almost anything it finds. With thick skin that neutralizes even bee stings, it eats everything from honey and ostrich eggs to venomous snakes without fear. In Cape Town, it is a target for the leopard, a cunning solitary hunter. Honey badgers are usually solitary, but the young stay with their mother for about 40% of their early life. Today, a leopard has spotted a young honey badger that has gone astray. Though it is a potential prey, leopards are often very reluctant to hunt honey badgers. The main reason is that the honey badger's skin is too thick and tough. In Africa, no creature inspires more fear than these legless beings. The black mamba or the Egyptian cobra can kill a human with their neurotoxin in just a few minutes. But just as frightening is the African rock python with its unparalleled muscle-crushing power. An adult python can reach a length of 20 feet and weigh over 280 pounds. Even so, in the land of lions, even the black mamba must be cautious. However, this balance is often broken by the curiosity of the young. Inexperienced lion cubs are the source of unexpected encounters. In their eyes, every strange creature on the savannah is just a toy. On a sunny day, the African rock python is not hunting, but simply relaxing. The 7-month-old lion cub sees such a strange shape for the first time. Luckily, this python is not venomous, but being non-venomous does not mean it is safe. An African rock python is capable of swallowing prey weighing up to 110 pounds. If the jackal is the maintainer of the food chain, then the leopard is the one who reigns at the top. In Nyika National Park, they are the dominant predators, even surpassing the lion. The rocky cliffs and steep hills here are a paradise for this climbing cat to display its power. As dusk falls, the leopard moves among the tree trunks like an invisible spirit. It is a solitary hunter, relying entirely on its individual skills for survival. Its rosette-spotted coat is the perfect camouflage, helping it blend into the dappled light of the forest. It has been patiently observing the antelope herd for hours. Its glowing eyes, with vision 6 times better than a human's, help it locate its prey. Every step is meticulously calculated, with no sound, no trace left behind. Before the antelope can realize, a lightning-fast blow brings it down completely. The hunt is over in just a few seconds, swift, efficient, and incredibly precise. The leopard never prolongs its prey's suffering. It acts with maximum efficiency. But after taking down its prey, its work is not truly finished. It must use all its muscular strength to drag the carcass up high, away from scavengers. The life cycle of the leopard always begins in silence and secrecy. After a gestation period of over 90 days, the mother gives birth in hidden rock crevices or bushes. The cubs are born blind, weak, and completely dependent on their mother's protection. The mother must frequently change her den to protect her young from other predators. In Kafue, Burchell's zebras possess unique glossy stripes, like fingerprints. These magical patterns are a weapon to repel the dangerous blood-sucking tsetse flies. Each adult zebra can weigh up to 700 pounds with a very robust appearance. They maintain a harem structure with a lead male, protecting the females and young. Many families combine to form large herds, creating a dense vigilance network with antelopes. The species' birth rate often increases during the hot and wet seasons of the year. A zebra foal can stand up after 20 minutes and run just an hour after birth. Their communication system is very sophisticated, from sounds to body gestures to maintain cohesion. Due to the abundant water in Kafue, they do not need to undertake long migrations. Accompanying the zebra is the blue wildebeest, a creature that considers water its lifeblood. The name wildebeest comes from Dutch, meaning wild beast. They have a distinctive appearance, with a large head, curved horns, a messy mane, and a bushy beard. Despite its heavy build, it can reach speeds of 50 miles per hour thanks to the power of its muscular legs. The wildebeest group operates on collective intelligence rather than a single leader. The impressive synchronization among individuals helps the herd react quickly to threats. Unlike the leaf-eating zebra, the wildebeest is a specialized grazer with strong teeth. They help control vegetation, creating conditions for other herbivores to thrive alongside them. In the savannah's food web, the blue wildebeest plays an essential role. Their presence helps to stabilize the entire predatory structure in nature. A large antelope herd can provide an abundant food source for a lion pride for weeks. The elimination of weak individuals helps to reinforce natural selection and preserve a healthy gene pool. As dawn breaks, spotted figures begin to emerge on the vast plains. They are the African wild dogs, the resilient hunters of the Miombo woodlands. Each individual bears a unique pattern of black, brown, and white, no two alike. They have an extremely tight social structure led by a powerful alpha pair. The excellent cooperation among members helps the wild dog pack achieve extremely high hunting efficiency. As the sun sets, this most efficient predator of the savannah begins to set up its hunt. Their tactic is not ambush, but persistence and teamwork. Their large round ears act as biological antennae that help dissipate heat and capture sound. They surround and apply constant pressure on their prey, causing the victim to fall into a state of panic. While fleeing is the prey's instinct, persistent pursuit is the wild dog's specialty. Finally, when completely exhausted, the prey stumbles and collapses before the pack of hunters. The entire pack quickly finishes the feast before competitors like hyenas or lions can catch the scent. The adults will carry food back to the den to feed the young and injured members. The wild dog plays a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the African ecosystem. Their existence is a testament to the subtlety of nature, where every species has its own place. Amidst the dry grass and cracked earth, the white rhino lumbers silently. The name white actually comes from the Afrikaans word wid, meaning wide. Weighing 5,500 pounds, it is the second largest land mammal in the world, after the elephant. Unlike the black rhino, the white rhino often lives in small groups of mothers and calves. Adult males will establish and protect their own territory with scent markings. The gestation period lasts 16 months, and a rhino calf will stay with its mother for the first 2 to 3 years of its life. This slow reproductive cycle makes the white rhino population very vulnerable. Though they appear calm, they can accelerate to 30 miles per hour to protect their young when necessary. Any loss of an individual has serious negative impacts on the entire population. As of the end of 2024, there were approximately 17,400 southern white rhinos left in the wild. This is a miraculous recovery from a population of fewer than 100 individuals at the end of the 19th century. However, horn poaching remains a constant threat to their survival. Not far away, the Tsessebe antelope, one of Africa's fastest runners, is on the move. They are ecological pioneers, often moving to new areas to promote grassland recovery. During the dry season, this species can travel 3 miles a day just to find precious water sources. The Tsessebe is also known for being a very curious animal about its environment. Instead of fleeing, they sometimes stop to observe, a habit that is both interesting and risky. Though they may look somewhat clumsy, they can maintain a speed of 55 miles per hour over long distances. It is an instinct to escape from enemies, but sometimes it is still not enough to outrun a cheetah. The cheetah, the fastest land animal, but also the most vulnerable. The evolutionary history of the cheetah began millions of years ago. They chose an evolutionary path based on pure speed and precision rather than muscular strength. While females are often solitary, males tend to form coalitions. The bond between brothers helps them increase their hunting success and protect their territory. When prey comes into sight, the cheetah's spine flexes like a spring ready to explode. It takes only 3 seconds for it to accelerate from a standstill to nearly 60 miles per hour. Every stride is an explosion of energy. The lungs expand to their maximum capacity to supply oxygen to the body. The giant heart pumps blood continuously at a maximum rate to sustain the high-speed race. With a decisive leap, the cheetah brings down its target to the astonishment of all creatures. Even while panting, it must eat quickly to avoid having its prize stolen by other species. The early years of a cheetah's life are always fraught with countless risks and dangers. The mother gives birth in well-hidden dens to avoid the prying eyes of enemies. Newborn cubs are very weak and easily become targets for other predators on the savannah. The mortality rate of cheetah cubs can be as high as 90% due to lions, hyenas, or even snakes. They are only truly safe when they are old enough to follow their mother and learn practical hunting skills. Despite being at the top of the food chain, their life is never easy. The role of the cheetah is to regulate prey populations, maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. By hunting weak individuals, they help preserve the healthy gene pool of herbivore species. Now, in addition to natural predators, they also face pressure from humans. According to the IUCN, at the end of 2024, there were only about 6,517 adult cheetahs left globally. In the sky of the Miombo woodlands, a giant bird shadow glides in silence. The lappet-faced vulture appears like a guardian at the boundary between life and death. It is the only remaining representative of the ancient genus Torgos in the Accipitridae family. Over millions of years, it has achieved perfect adaptation to the most extreme environments. Though silent in flight, the lappet-faced vulture displays a majestic presence when it lands on the ground. Its large, strong beak helps it easily tear through the toughest skin and sinews of a carcass. A small antelope can be cleaned up by it in less than 20 minutes. In the presence of this king of scavengers, hyenas and jackals often proactively retreat. Its appearance is very distinctive, with dark plumage contrasting with a bare, bright pink head. The featherless head helps it maintain hygiene and get disinfected under the sun when in contact with carcasses. Unlike other vulture species, this one often has a habit of living independently or in pairs. They maintain a strong monogamous relationship and build nests together on tall trees. Each breeding season, they lay and incubate only a single egg for about 55 days. A young vulture takes up to 125 days to be able to fly and needs 6 years to fully mature. Their diet is actually much more diverse than just scavenging. They can hunt small animals or attack flamingo nests to find food. This flexibility is the key that helps them survive through the lean, dry seasons. Contrary to popular belief, vultures find food by sight rather than smell. From an altitude of over 3,000 feet, its sharp eyes can detect the smallest signs of death. The quick cleanup of carcasses helps prevent the outbreak of various disease-causing bacteria. The eastern Miombo is the land of giants, and the Masai giraffe is a case in point. With a height of up to 18 feet, it is the tallest land animal today. Its 24-pound heart works tirelessly to pump blood to nourish this massive body. The maple leaf-shaped patterns on its coat are its most characteristic identifying feature. Males often engage in necking to compete for mating rights and establish status. These clashes cause the ossicones on the males' heads to often become bald over time. Masai giraffes live in flexible groups, mainly consisting of females and their young. They sleep only about 30 minutes a day through extremely short naps of 1 to 2 minutes. This habit helps them stay on high alert for lions and hyenas. Eating leaves from high up helps them regulate the tree canopy, creating living space for lower-dwelling species. Across the sun-scorched plains of Africa, life evolves in a delicate equilibrium. And at the heart of this arduous struggle for survival, there is a powerful figure, the lioness, an emblem of tenacity, strategy, and teamwork. Unlike the males, who often play a role of protection and procreation, it is the females who are the core of the pride's hunting prowess. Each lioness possesses a body built for power and agility. Weighing around 265 pounds, they can reach speeds of up to 37 miles per hour. And coordinate their hunts through subtle, non-verbal cues. Typically, lionesses stay together for life, often as sisters, mothers, and grandmothers. This blood bond fortifies the trust and coordination essential for the hunt. The average lifespan of a lion in the wild is just 10 to 14 years, not long compared to other predators. Environmental pressures, territorial conflicts, injuries from the hunt, and competition from outsider males make survival a precarious venture. Yet, in this brief time, a lioness matures quickly, reaching her prime at around 6 years old, when her strength and experience are at their peak. What makes lionesses such supreme hunters is their ability to bring down prey many times their own size. Beyond antelope and warthogs, lions can take down zebra, wildebeest, and even young elephants if the conditions are right. They rely not just on size or strength, but on precise cooperation, a clear division of roles, and an incredible patience for the ambush. Today, the Pride is targeting a herd of Cape buffalo, a formidable and dangerous prey, but one that offers a rich reward. A Cape buffalo weighs around 1,760 pounds, is armed with sharp, curved horns and a fearsome temperament, and is considered one of the most formidable adversaries on the plains. Yet, this is precisely what makes them the ultimate prize if the hunt succeeds. Hidden in the tall grass, downwind from the herd, 6 lionesses split into 2 groups. One group moves forward to distract the buffalo, while the other encircles them, aiming to isolate a weaker animal. The herd scatters in a storm of dust. The silent warriors of the savannah have claimed another victory, not through individual might, but through strategy, unity, and courage. In Africa, the lioness is a symbol of resilience and the art of survival. Through their collective hunts, they can fell prey many times their own weight and nourish an entire pride. Amid the harsh Kalahari Desert, where the heat and ever-present predators threaten every moment, a small society endures through its vigilance and cooperation, the meerkat. Weighing less than 2 pounds and measuring just 12 inches long, meerkats live in close-knit groups of up to several dozen individuals. Each member has a function, from digging for food to standing sentinel against danger. One stands erect, scanning the sky, while others search for scorpions, insects, and small lizards beneath the hot sand. They communicate with a diverse repertoire of calls, issuing different alarm signals for eagles, snakes, and jackals. When danger appears, the entire group freezes and vanishes underground. Meerkats are not only skilled defenders, they are also adept hunters. A young meerkat is hunting a scorpion. This is a technique learned from an early age. This wisdom is passed from one generation to the next, allowing them to survive in an unforgiving land. Across the sun-drenched plains of eastern and southern Africa, a silent figure glides through the short grass. It is not a lion, nor a hyena. It is the cheetah, armed with a weapon no other predator can match. Absolute speed. With its slender build, lightweight body, and an extraordinarily flexible spine, the cheetah can flex and launch itself like a spring, each movement propelling it forward. It has long forelimbs, powerful hind legs, and non-retractable claws that, like an athlete's spikes, increase its grip as it runs. Large nostrils, expansive lungs, a powerful heart, and a long tail that acts as a rudder help it maintain balance at top speed. Thanks to these adaptations, a cheetah can accelerate to over 62 miles per hour in just a few seconds. A marvel in the animal kingdom. However, these sprints quickly lead to exhaustion, leaving them vulnerable to having their kills stolen. While female cheetahs live a solitary existence, the males, particularly brothers from the same litter, form small coalitions of 2 to 4 individuals. It is a fundamental evolutionary strategy, improving territorial defense, increasing hunting efficiency, and providing mutual protection. In the wild, a solitary cheetah is successful in about 30% of its hunts. But with a coalition of males, that rate can double. Each one is not just a powerful individual, but a vital link in a machine of lethal precision. Speed is instinct. Strategy is intelligence. The cheetah has combined both to become one of the most fearsome hunters on the African savannah. In the dense forests of Central Africa, chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, live in incredibly cohesive social groups with clear hierarchies and some of the most complex behaviors in nature. The chimpanzee diet consists mainly of fruits, young leaves, seeds, and insects. And they are known to use tools, such as sticks to fish for termites and stones to crack nuts, demonstrating a remarkable evolutionary intelligence. However, in recent decades, scientists have observed a notable shift. Chimpanzees have begun to hunt vertebrate prey, particularly red colobus monkeys. Meat is not only a valuable source of protein, but also a tool for forging social bonds. Males share meat with females, or their allies, to strengthen their position. From gentle fruit gatherers, chimpanzees have transformed into strategic hunters, using their intelligence and coordination to adapt to a fiercely competitive environment. The journey for survival takes us across the globe to a frozen land that governs all life. In the icy forests and snow-covered plains of North America, the gray wolf is a symbol of coordination, discipline, and resilience. They are not solitary or reckless creatures. They live by the strength of the pack. A full-grown wolf weighs from 77 to 132 pounds, with a muscular build. They can travel dozens of miles a day through forests, snow-covered hills, and frozen streams in search of prey. But what makes the grey wolf truly formidable is not its strength, but its cohesive social structure, which resembles a true family. Each pack has from 6 to over 15 individuals, led by an alpha pair. The other members assist in hunting, raising the young, and defending the territory. The enemy is not only the harsh wilderness, but also the scarcity of prey. So, instead of chasing small animals, grey wolves focus on larger game like moose, deer, and especially bison. Bison can weigh up to a ton and stand 3 times taller than a wolf, but by using intelligent encircling tactics, the pack can turn this giant into a feast for all. On a white morning with biting winds, a pack of grey wolves moves silently across the snow-covered plains. On the horizon, a herd of bison slowly crosses the prairie. The chosen prey is a young bison that has fallen behind the herd. The wolves do not attack immediately. They wait, and then the opportunity comes. Victory comes not from individual power, but from discipline, persistence, and perfect coordination. In a frozen world where every day is a test of survival, the grey wolf has turned teamwork into its greatest instinct. In the frigid oceans of the North Pacific and North Atlantic, amidst the white-capped waves and bottomless depths, humpback whales emerge as silent giants. They can reach up to 50 feet in length and weigh over 33 tons, and are characterized by their long pectoral fins, like great arms sweeping through the water. Despite their colossal size, humpback whales are mostly solitary, gathering only during mating or migration seasons. However, when it comes to feeding, especially when they hunt schools of herring or krill, they will cooperate closely to execute one of the ocean's most spectacular strategies: bubble net feeding. This temporary cooperation shows that even solitary creatures know when they need an ally. And when they do, they act with absolute precision. Orcas are the apex predators of the ocean. Members of the dolphin family, they grow up to 30 feet long and weigh nearly 6.5 tons, and are renowned for their striking black and white coloration and extraordinary intelligence. They live in small groups called pods, typically consisting of mothers and their offspring. It is an incredibly cohesive matriarchal society. Thanks to complex communication skills, they hunt with high strategy and coordination. Their prey is diverse, from small fish and seals to large sharks and even whale calves. Orcas even teach their young how to hunt by simulating situations, something rarely seen outside the human sphere. Intelligent and highly organized, they are the true queens of the deep sea. When the rains flood the Amazon and the forest floor is submerged, the piranha, a notoriously predatory fish, enters a unique phase of hunting. Piranhas typically live in schools, possessing razor-sharp teeth, swift reflexes, and an extremely keen sense of smell. They feed mainly on small fish, carrion, and insects. In the vast, flooded world of the Amazon forest, the piranha is a predator that doesn't need to move, but rather lets its prey fall into its trap. On the sun-scorched grasslands of Africa, a land of magnificent names, like lion, leopard, crocodile, and hyena. Few would suspect that an animal bearing a less than elegant name, like the warthog, is one of the savannah's fiercest warriors. Though neither as elegant nor as graceful as a cheetah, the warthog lives a long and comfortable life, thanks to its clever strategies and the natural weapons on its face, its tusks. At first glance, they might seem like a wilder version of a domestic pig. With a short, stocky body, thick, sparsely haired skin, and a face full of warts. But do not be deceived by their strange appearance. What stands out most are their long, upward-curving upper tusks, which, along with their sharp lower tusks, form a highly effective weapon. They charge with surprising speed, lowering their heads and striking powerfully with their tusks in a counterattack strong enough to injure predators. There are many cases where hyenas, leopards, and even lions have had to abandon the chase of such an unappealing but difficult opponent. Warthogs are not just strong, they are also highly strategic. They often use abandoned burrows, especially those made by aardvarks, as shelters. When they enter the burrow, they reverse in, pointing their tusks towards the entrance, creating an impregnable fortress. In their daily lives, warthogs eat grass, roots, and occasionally insects, living a simple but highly adapted existence. They run with their tails held erect like an antenna, giving them a quick and quirky appearance, but making them unpredictable and difficult for predators to hunt. The warthog may not win the savannah's beauty contest, but if there were a competition for resilient survival, it would surely be a top contender. In a world where beauty can sometimes be a trap, the warthog's ruggedness and tenacity are the keys to survival. There is one thing that few would suspect. The warthog, seemingly solitary and shy, has a close ally in the wild world: the mongoose. On the arid plains of Africa, when the heat is intense and parasites begin to multiply on a warthog's skin, there are no spas open for business. But not to worry, for there is a mobile grooming team. The banded mongoose appears, ready for service. Whenever the warthogs feel the need for some personal care, they lie on their bellies, stretch out their legs, and settle onto the ground. But it is actually a polite invitation. The mongooses scurry over, hop onto the warthog's back, and begin to remove ticks, mites, parasites, and dead skin cells. In return, they receive a hearty, easy-to-find meal without having to dig. This relationship is a perfect symbiosis, where everyone benefits. The warthog gets cleaned, feels more comfortable, and is less prone to skin infections. Meanwhile, the mongoose gets a full stomach, stays safe, and enjoys a bristle massage. Not all large animals have the patience and intelligence required to cooperate in this way, but the warthog does. Beneath the brilliant light of day, there are shadows that are more silent and more dangerous, hunting with absolute precision. At the edge of the short grass, where steam rises from the hot rocks and birds hop restlessly. The caracal crouches, its tufted ears erect, attentive to the slightest sound. With its golden coat, slender body, and erect ears, the caracal is a skilled predator of the arid regions. Its powerful hind legs allow it to leap over 10 feet into the air and catch birds in flight with its sharp claws. Living a solitary life at the edge of the forest and among the bushes, the caracal needs to make no sound. If the caracal is a predator of heat and dust, its relatives have chosen other battlegrounds, no less harsh. On the endless plains of Africa, under the scorching sun and the winds that sweep through the grass, the lion appears without needing to hide. It walks towards the light like a king ascending his throne. Although the lion is called the king of the jungle, not all males have the right to wear the crown. On the African plains, power is not inherited, but seized with teeth, claws, and blood. When males come of age, they leave their mother's pride and wander, forming coalitions, often between brothers, waiting for the chance to overthrow another pride. The long mane, a distinguishing feature of the male lion, is not just a symbol of beauty, but also a biological shield. Typically, males with dense, dark manes are more highly valued by females, and they also suffer fewer injuries in battles thanks to the protection it affords their neck and face from bites. It is a harsh but effective survival strategy, deeply ingrained in the species' instinct. However, a male lion's reign is short, typically lasting from 2 to 4 years. Power on the savannah is never permanent. Only instinct, strength, and blood are real. When the roaring subsides and the victor's identity is established, a new order is set, not just on the battlefield, but also at home. And that is when the role of the lionesses comes to the fore. Silent, resilient, and utterly crucial. Unlike the males who are born to fight, protect, and then depart, the lioness is the soul that binds all members of the pride. They are the skilled hunters, the mothers, the protectors. Each female gives birth to 1 to 4 cubs after about 110 days of gestation. The cubs are born in the dense bush, away from the pride for the first few weeks. They are blind, small, weak, and completely dependent on their mother. In the early stages of life, the lioness protects her cubs alone, keeping them away from enemies like hyenas, leopards, or even strange male lions. Only when the cubs are old enough to keep up with the pride does the mother bring them back. And from then on, the learning begins. Typically, lionesses hunt in groups, and their perfect coordination gives them a higher success rate than most other predators. Meanwhile, the cubs watch from a distance, mimicking their mother's behavior and sometimes playing with the prey as if it were a toy. But these games are the first step to becoming a hunter. There is no specific season for life to begin, but as the fangs lengthen, the claws sharpen, and the speed increases. The lion cubs gradually step into the harsh world their mothers know so well. Midday, the sun scorches everything. Most life seeks shelter. Except for her. Alone, exhausted, but hunger allows a hunter no rest. A warthog, the perfect target, if she can get close enough. No prize, only precious energy, burned in vain. Even for the queen of the savannah, failure is a constant companion. She is forced to begin again. And here, weakness always attracts uninvited guests. The opportunists have caught the scent from afar. Hyenas have long been dismissed as mere scavengers, but the truth is they are hunters as organized, persistent, and fearsome as lions. With their low-slung bodies, muscles concentrated in the forequarters, and the most powerful jaws in the carnivorous world, a hyena can crush a skull or devour the remains of a carcass in minutes. Hyenas do not hunt alone, but move in clans of 10 to 30 individuals, coordinating their movements perfectly and dividing the tasks of chasing, surrounding, and killing. When hyenas pinpoint their prey, their strength and numbers are their greatest advantages. And some males have died on the battlefield or been forced to abandon their kill after hours of struggle. However, the majority does not always win. On the harsh savannah, power belongs to no one forever, but to those who constantly test the limits of their ability to survive. In this wild world, strength is not given to the mightiest, but to the one who understands the brutal rhythm of nature and knows how to dance on the edge of the abyss. There is no stronger species, no permanent loser, only an endless struggle between instinct and choice, between opportunity and peril. Under the sunset of the rainy season, the saddle-billed stork appears as still as a living statue. It has a wingspan of over 9 feet, a very impressive figure for a bird. This stork species often lives alone or in pairs to protect its territory around a water source. Each gentle step on the shallow water shows the infinite patience of the hunter. Its diet is very rich, from fish and shrimp to even snakes or young birds. Despite its striking appearance, the saddle-billed stork is a very quiet bird. They only make very soft sounds to communicate and protect their nest. This is a clever tactic to avoid drawing the attention of surrounding predators. The huge nests are built right at the water's edge for convenience in raising their young. Each clutch, the mother stork, lays 1 to 3 eggs and spends a month incubating them into shape. Their presence is a vibrant highlight in the watery natural landscape. The grey heron does not need bright colours. Its strength lies in absolute precision. The black crest and shaped neck are formidable weapons for hunting. It can stand motionless for hours, waiting for the opportunity to launch a lightning-fast strike. Its high adaptability helps the grey heron survive even in temporary water bodies. The skills of this bird go far beyond mere hunting. A special claw helps it keep its feathers clean and light for movement. Grey herons prefer to build communal nests high up, creating bustling bird gardens near rivers. These sturdy nests are often reused by them over many years. Each breeding season, the mother heron will incubate 3 to 5 pale blue eggs for about 28 days. When the dry season comes, they can fly hundreds of kilometers to find new water bodies. If you have experiences in Namibia or the Miombo, please share them with us below. Among the herds of hoofed animals, the ostrich appears with its enormous two-toed feet and majestic gait. As the planet's largest bird, it cannot fly, but it can run at over 40 miles per hour. Its long legs act like natural springs, propelling it across the plains in strides of nearly 20 feet. The two-toed foot helps reduce friction when running. Standing over 8 feet tall, ostriches are like vigilant, mobile watchtowers. A specialized digestive system allows them to swallow stones, which help grind up food in their gizzards. Across the Satara sky, streaks of vibrant pink and turquoise flash by like living arrows. These are the southern carmine bee-eaters, summer migrants that bring a dazzling splash of color to the savannas. They are expert aerial hunters, specializing in catching bees and other flying insects. This bird also shares a symbiotic relationship with the giants of the plains, like the ostrich and the cory bustard, using their movements to flush insects from the grass. More than just skilled hunters, southern carmine bee-eaters are also master engineers. They live in colonies of thousands, digging deep, nesting burrows into earthen banks. When thousands of pink wings erupt from the colony at once, the savanna sky fills with the vibrant color and sound of summer. On the savannas of Satara, the secretary bird appears with a dignified, aristocratic air. This bird of prey is distinguished by the crest of black feathers rising from the back of its head. This crest is reminiscent of the quill pens that 19th century clerks used to tuck behind their ears. Though it has a wingspan as large as an eagle's, the secretary bird spends most of its time walking on the ground. Each day, it can cover nearly 20 miles in search of food. The secretary bird's most lethal weapons are its long, powerful legs. A thick layer of scales protects them from venomous bites when confronting snakes. Although an emblem on the coat of arms of South Africa, this species is now facing the threat of extinction. The loss of its open grassland habitat is the greatest threat to nature's most elegant martial artist. To protect the secretary bird is to protect the sacred balance and vigilance of the Satara Plains.